guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a story time, and I know some people may not like that, but I figured, hey, you know what? Let's do a little chit chat. Let's have some girl talk. People are talking about the horror stories on first dates and stuff, and I love hearing about them. Not because I'm just like, whoa, but it's because they endeared the pain that I felt. So I have a couple stories for you. Before I met Glenn, I went on a ton of first dates. Well, obviously they didn't work out, right? I'm gonna be talking about some dates that were back in the day as well. So, let's see, who is my first victim? Okay, let's start off with something because I'm going to an event later on with my bestie and I'm gonna see her and my bestie. She tried to set me up with someone. You always know that your best friend knows how you are. They try to hook you up. Well, this time it was her family and they know how I am. And I thought, hey, her parents know how I am. I'm sure they're gonna pick a good guy. Let's do this. So we're just gonna call him Joe Schmo. But if a Joe's watching this, no offense to that, I'm just picking Joe. So right away, my best friend's like, oh, okay, here, let me show you the Instagram. Let me peep the pictures. And I started looking, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, why not? I'm someone where I really don't have like a distinct taste. I'm all about the taste the rainbow. So I started peeping the gram and stuff like that, and she started telling me about this person, and I was like, okay, sure, let's meet, whatever. So we end up picking a time, and I go to my best friend's house. She is just moving into her place before, and that person ended up meeting there too because they were in the midst of moving, and we're like, hey, let's like meet there and help move. We end up like, you know, kind of setting a date and all of that, and I guess she gives my Instagram, you know, I accept them, whatever, no big deal, it's just Instagram. And I haven't talked to him personally yet. We were just going to kind of like meet up and like meet from there or whatever and kind of see like the vibe, because why give the number and do all that if you don't really know him? Then it's kind of uncomfortable with having each other's numbers, and maybe you don't want to text them, or they, you know, they don't want you texting them, you know, that sort of thing. So I was like, all right, I'll prove them on Instagram. And all of a sudden I got hit with the go live, like 50 likes on different pictures. And I was like, holy sh. I mean, I thought it was really nice that he liked my pictures, but I just kind of felt bad because I didn't really like any pictures. And then like I saw all these comments of, you're beautiful, this and that. And I know some people were like, you should feel grateful that someone said that to you. Don't be such a bee, you know, he was complimenting you. It was just very like whoosh, sudden, you know what I mean? And like you haven't met this person, so it was already building sort of like, I don't know, pressure. So we finally get the date or whatever, and then we meet up at my best friend's house, and it's very sort of awkward, like, hi, how are you? I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. And you just see like my best friend and her husband in the corner laughing in the kitchen, watching us. Thank you. We kind of like hung out at our house and we're all just talking and stuff like that. I could tell he was super, super nervous, which made me feel good. I know that's bad, but I was just like, okay, the stress is kind of off my shoulders. Like I'm feeling good, whatever. I'm not nervous anymore. So then we end up just leaving. We didn't do anything. That was just like our first initial meet. And then afterwards we exchanged numbers outside and we're like, all right, let's go on our first date. So here comes the date. Dun, 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 dun. So he ends up picking me up, and usually I'm not one where I like to give my address and to pick me up because I'll go into things, maybe another story time, because yeah. He ends up picking me up, we go eat sushi, and I'm thinking, all right, sushi's cool, I like sushi, easy to eat, nothing's gonna dribble down, I can't really splash anything on my shirt, why not? So we end up sitting down, and we're kind of like sitting there kind of awkward, saying, how was your day, blah, blah. We get our waters, and then boom. Boom. I get hit with a question where I was, I still can't even believe it. The first question he asked is, what is the craziest thing you've ever done? Like, have you ever had like sex in a crazy place? Homie, we didn't even order our food yet. You're jumping to that? Skirt. Right from there, I was like, whoa, what happened to Mr. Nice Guy? Like, I heard that you were like super, super sweet. You're very innocent. Like, what kind of question is this? And I don't know where that came from. And he kind of like laughed off. He's like, oh, sorry. It's like, I don't know. I was just asking a question. Like, I think he was just super nervous. And he probably asked that question. He was just thinking, what the F did I just do? I could tell that he was kind of nervous, but I was thinking, out of all of your questions you could have asked me, that's the one that you asked first. So right from there, I was pretty turned off and just confused. And then the conversation started going normal, and I was like, all right, this guy's actually kind of cool, whatever. The rest of the night went fine and all of that. So then we ended up going like on a second date. I was like, okay, sure, I'll go on a second date. But he wanted to go on a second date like that next day. And I was like, don't really have anything to do. I mean, it wasn't that bad last night. It was fine, but I just felt like, damn, the next day? The next day, like, we ended up going, like, mini golfing or whatever, but I remember the next day he would, like, not stop texting, and I mean, that's cool. I can understand, like, someone gets excited or whatever, but it was just so much at once where I felt like, whoa, this is, like, you know, just, let's get some breathing room. Like, I honestly just saw you 4 hours ago. It's okay, I'm still here. So after the mini golf, everything goes fine. So then I remember we ended up going out on a third date, and I think I met his sister and like part of his family or something. That's right. We went to like a bar, and I was thinking, well, there's liquor, I'll loosen up. What's the big deal? I mean, I'm not going into it that serious. I'm just meeting him, but it's, you know, I'm basically like his friend, so what's the big deal? But then I remember his sister saying, oh my gosh, she's like talking about you all the time and this and this and that. And then that's when I was really like, whoa, like we've only gone on a couple dates. This is getting, again, it's going fast. So that night ends, and then that was completely fine. So then I end up getting sick, and then I didn't see him. Obviously the week started, the work week, and then I didn't see him. We were texting and stuff like that, but then he was so persistent to come over my house, and I'm just like, dude, I'm sick. Like, no, I don't want anybody here. So then it honestly was just so annoying how persistent he was. I was just like, you know what? Like, if you want to surprise me and come over, then that's fine. Because he kept saying, I have a surprise, I have a surprise. And I was like, it's okay. Like, let's just save it for another time. Because I had the flu. I was laying on the couch. I couldn't even squeeze the toothpaste tube. That's how sick I was. Whatever. If you want to come, you're going to come. Whatever. So he ends up coming. And before he comes, he calls my best friend, hey, I'm at Sephora, what's something I can buy her, because he knew I loved makeup and all that. And she's like, I don't think you need to buy her anything. I don't think she's really gonna want anything. Like, she doesn't, you know, that might kind of freak her out. He's like, no, I want to buy her something. So he ends up buying me like this whole collection of something, and something that was actually really nice. But then he calls her back at the mall, and he's like, what's something I can get her, like a bracelet or a necklace? And that's when she's like, skirt, skirt. He wanted to get me a piece of jewelry. No, like, thank you, but no thank you. He ends up coming over to my house, brought a whole cake, like a whole cake for me. I don't know why, like, it's because it's a cake that me and my best friend like. And he's like, oh, for you and Chris. And I was like, when are we gonna eat this? And then he gave me the big bag from Sephora, and I just felt like crap, because you're doing so much nice things for me, but it's like I'm sick and I wasn't really in the mood, and it was just really uncomfortable. I don't know, it was just too much at once. Then I remember I was fine, and then we went out probably one other time. This is probably only like 4 dates max. I don't think it even reached 5. And I was just like, okay, on that last one, I did not want to go out with him. It was just too overwhelming, because he ended up sending me 2 collages of all the top Instagram pictures that he liked of me. I don't even like my pictures that much. So that also was just a little too much, and he decorated it with all these Mickey and Minnie Mouses and them kissing and hearts all around. With, you just see my face, like about 8 pictures to 10 pictures in each collage. It's like, oh, these are my favorite pictures I love of you. Yeah. Right there, I was just like, I'm not going out with this guy anymore. That's it. I'm just gonna have to call him. I tell my mom, because I'm like, my mom knows everything, and I'm just like, what do I do? And she's like, call him. Tell him absolutely no. Like, no, that is too much. He's coming on too strong. I end up calling him, and I straight up was just trying to be so nice as I could, because he honestly was a very sweet person, even though he kind of did these things that I thought were a little psychotic in such a short amount of time. I know he meant well, but at the same time, just like I said, thanks, but no thanks. So I ended up telling him, you know, I feel really bad saying this, but I just know how I am, and I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. It's me. It's not you. And I just said, you know, I don't want to go out tonight. Like, I don't think it's going to work out. And what happened next? He cried. He just started crying on the phone, and I was just on the other line like... I didn't know what to say. I didn't think I was going to get that reaction. And he just said, you know, I really got to get off the phone because I just feel sick to my stomach. I just can't believe this is happening. And I was thinking, whoa, like if you're that upset over just stopping something that really wasn't blooming, and you know what I mean? We just started to get to know each other. Like, he didn't know my favorite color or my middle name or anything. And he was so emotional and emotionally involved. So that was just, I'm just going to end it there because I'm already feeling bad talking about him. But I would die if he's watching this. I would die. Okay, so that was number 1. Let's go on with number 2. Horror story number 2. And I'm gonna do this one because I happened to see this person maybe about 2 months ago randomly at the gym that I currently go to. And I was thinking, no. I ended up meeting this guy through a mutual friend. He seemed super cool, you know. Lots of people, obviously the first impression, you're not gonna be a jerk and you're gonna be sweet. You're gonna show like your best qualities and yada, yada, yada. And you're just a wonderful person. How come you're single? Who knows? Just chill, no big deal. Wasn't gonna send me a collage of pictures of me. And he was acting so cool, like energetic. He was talking to everybody, had funny jokes. He didn't seem like he was disrespectful or anything like that. So we end up like exchanging numbers, whatever. We go on a date, and I'm gonna call this like the $20 ditch. And I will say I learned this trick from someone else, and I didn't do it on my own. And I do feel guilty doing this, but it just had to be done, but you'll hear. We meet up when we're gonna go to this Italian place to go eat. I didn't have him pick me up because at this point I had like a couple other dates I went on, and I was just like, I don't want anybody knowing where I'm living. It's just, I don't want that. And I don't want someone outside my gate texting me like, can you please come out? Like, let's please talk. That happened with someone else. So I was done giving my address. I'm meeting your ass there. So we end up meeting at the Italian restaurant. I'm one where I go super early because I honestly was getting scarred. So I parked not right in front of the restaurant. I got there probably about 15 minutes before we're supposed to meet, just to make sure I can be like a spy and keep an eye out, because I didn't want him to see where I was parked. I didn't want him to even see my plate number. That's how scared I was of people by this time. I know it seems extreme, but I'm telling you, some people go really crazy lengths, and you just have to be safe. So he ends up calling me. He's like, hey, I'm here. Like, where are you at? I'm like, oh, I just got here. Meet up. We go and sit down on the table, and immediately it is like flames of hell. So we got to the part of getting our waters, and we got to the part of getting a drink, and we already ordered our food, and I thought it was going okay. But immediately the persona did a 180. He immediately started talking about like, oh dang, you're really effing hot, like saying the full F word. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, I've been dying to hear that compliment all day long like that. And just being super disrespectful, like looking down at my boobs, which I will say, when I go on dates, I don't like have my boobs out. That's like one of the things I will never ever do. Obviously I like to dress girly and stuff like that, but I do have boobs, so I can't hide them. I'm not gonna wear like a poncho or a blanket or I don't know, a Snuggie. Then he starts like talking about himself, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just steer this conversation somewhere else. And all I heard was about all these girls, how they want him, how he went on other first dates, and those girls were dumb bitches, and all these things, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. Why me? Just how obnoxious he was and all of that. I was just thinking, I want the food to be here right now so I can just concentrate on my food. Hopefully he starts chomping away and he just shuts up. And so he just starts talking, and he just started bringing up sex right away. And I was like, wow, like talking about, so how do you feel about sex on the first date? Like, why do people think it's such a big deal? I mean, it's just sex, da da da. And I was, oh, no. And he was leading to the point of like talking about, oh yeah, let's go get some drinks tonight, blah, blah, blah. Let's go get effed up. Just thinking, wow, like this guy honestly just wants to get in every girl's pants. It's pretty obvious. It was so bad that I couldn't even stand it anymore. I was just in shock. So I excused myself to the restroom. The food did not come. I find the waitress, and my friend told me about this a long time ago that she did this. $20. Always keep it on you no matter what. Never go on a first date or any date period without some cash on you. Make sure you got a 20. Got a 20, told the waitress, you know what? This is going to be for my meal and to cover what I ordered. Just tell him thank you. I'm so sorry, but I have to go. And I ducked out of the restaurant. I left. I really did that. And still, that was the very first and last time I ever had to do that. I felt really bad after, but at the time I was just so upset because I felt like so disrespected sitting there for like the 20 minutes that I was. 25 minutes. No, I was actually there 30 minutes of hell. And it was just insane. Like, it was that bad where I had to leave, excuse myself, because he was just such a dick. So after that, I never got any text, no call, no nothing from him. My friend never said anything. Like, I wasn't really close with that other guy's friend. Like I knew him when we hung out every now and then, but not close enough to be like, hey, whatever happened? I'm sure whatever he told my friend was probably like oh, it just didn't work out. So I never said anything, and it wasn't his business anyhow. So about 2 months ago, I end up going to the gym super early in the morning. I like going early in the morning, but it was actually no, it was early in the morning, but a little bit later than usual, but still early in the morning than when I go. And I happened to see him. I was on the Stairmaster, and I'm just like on the Stairmaster. You know when you feel like someone just, I don't know, staring at the back of your head? I felt like someone was looking at me, and I just look like down because I'm up on the Stairmaster. I look down and I see this guy, and he's kind of like looking and like looking for a machine, but then like looking up at the same time, and I look on my, and it was him, and it was the most awkward moment ever. But I will say I'm pretty happy because I'm sure I felt awkward, and I'm sure he felt awkward, so at least it was equal, and that's all I'm gonna say. I've never seen him ever again, and I'm crossing my toes. I'm not trying to give an idea to anybody saying, hey, always bring $20 and just ditch that guy, but it was that bad. And maybe, you know, maybe that taught him a lesson. Maybe he was like, whoa, I've never had any girl, because the way he was talking about himself, no girl denies him. Maybe that taught him a lesson, like, hey, maybe you should bring it down about 97 notches. And the grand finale is the one that never even made it to the date. So I ended up meeting someone at a gym, and it's an older gym that I used to go to in Torrance, and this person I thought was super sweet and nice. I would see him like all the time. We would always talk, always say hi. So it's not like I didn't know who this person was. So just randomly, he was just like, oh, hey, like, you know, I don't want to, you know, intrude or anything, and I don't want to make things awkward, but are you single? Like, you never talk about, you know, like a guy or anything like that. And I was just like, no, I'm single, you know? And he's like, oh, okay. Well, like, do you think I can maybe get your number? Maybe we can like hang out or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? I honestly didn't have an issue because I've seen this guy for maybe about 6 to 8 months at the gym, and we always talked, we always said hi, nothing was weird, and he seems like funny and genuine. I mean, come on, it's been 6 to 8 months. So I got like a good feel for him, so I was like, why not? So I distinctly remember like the day and how everything went. So I gave my number on a Monday, then after Tuesday passed and he didn't text me, and I didn't go that next day and we didn't see each other, and then he texted me the next day. I'm like, okay, he's doing the whole when should I text her kind of thing. And which is fine. And so he texted me Wednesday, and he's like, hey, do you want to go out Saturday night? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? Whatever. So I end up going to the gym like on that Wednesday and Thursday. We see each other. Everything is normal. Everything is fine. So on Thursday, he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm excited. I'll see you on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll figure out a place for us to go eat and something to do. We'll have fun. He didn't make it seem any type of like, I don't know, he didn't make it seem like it was gonna be weird or awkward, just really comfortable, like, you know, just friends, because we knew each other pretty much. Well, not like, you know, a lot, but I mean, we knew each other enough to just act normal about it. So then that was Thursday. So then that next Friday night, I ended up going out with my girlfriends. We go to a bar and stuff like that. And I get a text from him and he's like, hey, what are you up to? Oh, okay. It didn't bother me. I was like, oh, I'm out with my friends. He's like, oh, you want to hang out later or something like that? I was like, I thought we're just gonna go on a date tomorrow. Like, no. Oh, no, I'm out with my friends. You know, I didn't think anything of it, whatever. It wasn't like at midnight, so I wasn't thinking like, is this guy does he just want a booty call? So it was still like in time range of hanging out and doing something. So then after I'm like out with my friends, I'm having a good time, and he's like still like randomly text messaging. I'm kind of texting back just because like I'm out, I'm having a good time. And then I happen to get a call from him, and I'm headed already home at this point. Like I was at my friend's house, I was sobering up, I'm heading home. And I'm like, whoa, like he's calling really late. So I'm like, okay, let me just answer. So I'm talking to him and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm heading home right now. He's like, oh, that's cool. I hope you had fun. Like, whoa, that's too bad we didn't hang out. I was like, well, I'll see you tomorrow. No big deal. You know, we'll have fun tomorrow. So then afterwards, he's like, oh, okay, I'll let you get going on all that. So I hang up the phone and then I get home and he's starting to text message me. And at this point, it's probably like, I don't know, like 1:30 in the morning, I think, like around that time. So I'm getting ready for bed. Like I'm ready to knock out. And then all of a sudden I get some text and he's sort of like flirting in the text and I'm thinking, ooh, what's going on? Like he's kind of really flirting, you know what I mean? I remember like the text was sort of like, oh, you probably look really beautiful tonight. I'm sure someone else tried to, you know, talk to you or whatever, about something like that, because we're at a bar. And I was like, oh, haha, so funny, like you're silly, you know, that kind of stuff. I didn't know what to say back, like, yeah, I was hollering at 10 guys. Woo-hoo. Hang out with my friends, that was it. And so then he ends up texting some more, and then he sends the weirdest freaking text message. Send me a pic of you. You saw me Thursday, and you've seen me within all these other months. You know what the hell I look like. So right from there, I'm already like, I'm like so annoyed. And I straight up was like, no, that's weird. I'm not gonna send you a picture. That's just freaking weird. So then he said, fine, I'm gonna send you one. And I'm like, haha, okay. Not even thinking anything. Like, you know, just like whatever talk. Oh my God. Boom, sends me a text. Boom. And then I look at my phone. Whoa. I was so pissed. He sent me a pee-pee pic. Not like of his pee-pee, but like his wee-wee. You know, his dun-dun-dun. He sent me it like a full-on pic. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't know who's watching. I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I don't want to get too graphic, but it was like full on everything. He just prepped it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Ugh. So right away I end up calling him because I'm not someone where I keep quiet or I just ignore or I'm gonna text back. I called his ass and I told him off. I cursed him out. I said, you're effing disgusting. Like, who the F do you think you are? Why are you sending me that? Blah, blah, blah. His answer is like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I sent that. Yeah, why are you sending that? Like, do you have like a bunch of friends around you that are just bad influences? Like, homie, send her that pic. Why? What in your right mind would even make you think, hey, let's send her a pic of my dun-dun-duns at 1:30 in the morning? Because I've been dying to have that picture all night long. So yeah, I ended up just cursing him out, saying he was completely disgusting. Like, don't ever talk to me ever again. That is, you're just so disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. And I say, I don't even want to see you tomorrow. Like, delete my number. I don't want to talk to you. And I ended up like hanging up because I'm someone where I'm pretty vocal. I don't let someone just like do something like that and I'm going to be quiet about it. I'm going to discuss it. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to handle my business. I've never ever understood the reason for a guy to send that type of picture. I don't find it attractive. I don't think it's sexy. I don't even know a girl who would ask for that. Like, hey, you know what I want to see. So that date never went through, obviously. And what do you think happened after that? Lots of awkwardness at the gym. And that is why I always said I will never, ever, ever consider going out on a date with anybody from the gym. And then I met Glenn and I'm in love. Because I met Glenn at my other gym. So yeah. I don't know. So that is it for my dating horror stories. I hope you guys had a laugh or got a kick out of it. Trust me, your girl didn't find Glenn until after a while of going through a lot of, I don't know, like duds, bunch of womps, until I finally found my whoop. But yeah, let me know your horror stories down below, because I know you guys or girls have some, because this goes other ways too, because I had some guy friends and they would tell me about certain girls and how they were just completely psycho. A quick little example, my friend took someone out to dinner, they got an appetizer, he started eating the appetizer and she's like, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? He's like, I'm eating calamari. She's like, yeah, but this is my side and this is yours. Yeah, so just a little example, goes both ways, I know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh my gosh, just thinking about it, it's just like, oh. But I guess you gotta go through a lot of frogs in order to find your prince or your princess, right? So I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you want some more stories, because I definitely have a lot of stories. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah! Whoop, whoop.